Hello, I'm Harvey Godwin Jr., Chairman of the Lumbee Tribe, and today we are at the Public Schools of Robeson County Indian Education Art Gallery. I'm proud to be here with our educators from our four-county area, which is part of our tribal territory by our Lumbee Constitution. I've been raised around educators all my life. My mother was a school teacher. My wife is a retired school teacher. My sister was a school teacher. Aunts and uncles, just like many of you. And the value of an education is one of the Lumbee core values. So we felt like it was important today to hear from an educational perspective. These are leaderships that you empower to look after your children every day in the schools of Robeson County, Hope County, Cumberland County, and Scotland County. So I'm sure what they have to say, you'll see it to be very important. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sue Locklear. I am a school nurse with the Public Schools of Robeson County. I am one of only 23 school nurses currently serving approximately 21,000 students throughout our county. As health service providers in the public schools, our goal is to facilitate not only the well-being, but the educational success of all students. With that being said, we know that all students learn best from in-person learning, but there are times as health service providers that we do have to isolate or quarantine our students away from school. Students will either do a 10-day isolation for a positive, a 14-day quarantine for exposure, or a 24-day in the event that they are exposed to someone that they cannot quarantine from. That being said, anyone who is 12 years of age and older is able to have the vaccine against COVID. We all know that the vaccine is the #1 shield against the COVID virus. In order to continue with a successful school year for our students, we encourage that anyone 12 years and up receive the vaccine when they are able. It is your shot, it is your shield.
Hello, my name is Kenna Locklear Freeman. I am a teacher with the Public Schools of Robeson County. I chose to be vaccinated because of my elders and the future that I teach every day in my class. This shot is our shield, and it's our way of having a successful school year.
Hello, I am Connie Locklear. I'm Director for the Public Schools of Robeson County Indian Education Program. And I am here to talk to you about getting vaccinated. In December of 2020, my husband and I both were stricken with COVID. And he was very sick. His fever went to 107. I really thought he was not going to make it. I was very sick because I have asthma. I was out of work for over 4 weeks. I chose to get vaccinated as soon as the vaccine became available. #1, because I knew the effects of COVID and how it had impacted my home. Not only have I been vaccinated, both my children and their spouses and my mother. I'm here to ask you to be vaccinated, #1, because we need to protect our elders. I am my brother's keeper. It's important for me to be vaccinated so that I can protect those around us. And #2, I ask for everybody to be vaccinated so our children can get back to some form of normalcy. Granted, we may never be back to normal as we once thought normal was, but now our kids are not able to participate in many of the many activities. Everything now has to be virtual. A lot of the programming that we offer here at Indian Education and the things we've offered in the past, we've had to cease due to COVID. Our kids need opportunities, and I encourage you to get vaccinated. Please, not only for yourself, for our children, for our elders, for our tribe. This shot is your shield. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rodney Jackson, and I'm from Cumberland County Schools, the Office of Indian Education. I received my first vaccination shot on February 17, 2021, and my second vaccination on March 3, 2021. As we navigate through these unprecedented times, I feel that it is important that we do our part to protect our children and our grandchildren. The role of an educator is to make tough decisions so that we pave the way for others to find the pathway to their success. Perhaps your decision as an educator to get a life-saving vaccine will, in some small way, encourage others to follow in your footsteps. Please do your part, get your shot. If not today, then very soon. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Terry Locklear, and I serve on the board for the Public Schools of Robeson County. I hope you're watching this video and thinking that you don't want medical advice from me because I'm not in the healthcare field. And if you are, that's great, because you should be skeptical about taking advice from anyone talking outside of their expertise. My career is in higher education, and much of my graduate study is in a discipline called instructional design. One of the first things I learned was how to conduct research. Like many of you, when the vaccine was first released, I had lots of questions. So as a researcher, I conducted an informal study. The study had one question, which was what percentage of individuals getting hospitalized and dying from COVID are vaccinated? And yes, while the long-term implications of the vaccine remain unknown, my short-term results were conclusive. If you're still on the fence about the vaccine, I encourage you to conduct the same study and make an informed decision. And for those of you that remain firm on your decision to not get vaccinated, let's talk about something that may be almost as important. The fact that you are watching this video means that you and I have something in common. We're both researchers, which means that we have some responsibilities. We have access to more information now than at any other time in the history of humanity. And on one hand, that's great, but on the other, it's not so great, because some of that information is inaccurate. Consequently, all researchers should be skilled in an area called information literacy. As a researcher, whenever you find some information online, maybe something about the vaccine, before sharing it, consider the following. What motivated the authors to create and share the content? Are they trying to persuade you in some way, or are they selling a product? Can you verify that information from any other unrelated and reliable sources? If all of those check out, you are on your way to becoming information literate. And yes, as a researcher, it can be difficult to discover facts that may not align in a way that you'd hoped. In that spirit, be mindful of a phenomenon called confirmation bias, which is the act of intentionally seeking information to reinforce what you already believe. That's akin to what's referred to as an echo chamber, or the act of surrounding yourself with only those opinions that you already agree with. And finally, you probably found this video on social media, which makes you a digital citizen. And your digital citizenship automatically makes you responsible for the information that you share online. You have a voice. Please use it wisely, because with just a few clicks, you can instantly reach billions of people. And no matter what your stance is on the vaccine, as digital citizens, information literacy is our collective social responsibility. The consequences of how we conduct ourselves online do manifest in the real world. So please remember that yes, information is power, but in the midst of a pandemic, the spread of misinformation can literally mean the difference between life and death. Thanks goes out to the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina for providing this opportunity. I'm Terry Locklear, member of the school board of Robeson County, encouraging you to let's get through this pandemic together by becoming information literate and by being good citizens both in the digital and face-to-face worlds. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Craig Lowry. I'm currently the District 5 representative for the public schools of Robeson County. I'm a retired educator with 33 years of experience in our school system. I received my vaccination shots this past January and February, and I'm looking to get the booster shot as soon as I'm available to take that. My wife is a former teacher. My son and daughter-in-law are both medical professionals. My daughter, who is expecting, is a teacher, and her husband, and they've all been vaccinated. So it's very important in our family that we did get the vaccination, and I'd like at this point to encourage everyone to get the vaccination. In thinking with people in our county, if you come in contact with children, and I'm going to say that's everyone, there I'd like to encourage all PSRC staff, parents, grandparents, and eligible children to become vaccinated. Our goal is to keep our students in school each and every day. And I feel like to do that, we need to wear a mask, and we also need to become vaccinated. In conclusion, if you're not vaccinated, do it for your loved ones, do it for the children. We've all seen death in this county and surrounding areas in many cases that would have been prevented if the people had been vaccinated. So again, I'd just like to encourage everyone to get their vaccination shots. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn Chavis, and I serve as the Project 3C Director at the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. I'm also a retired educator of 32 years with the Public Schools of Robeson County and Robeson Community College. I chose to get my vaccination for many reasons. One, to protect myself, to protect my family, my loved ones, and my friends. We were all vaccinated at some point as children to enter into the school systems, and we didn't know what those vaccinations included back then. We have to trust our medical professions and those that study and do the research and take the vaccine to do better by our people. Please strongly consider taking the vaccine. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Henry Brewer. I'm with the Public Schools of Robeson County School Board at large, represent the entire county. I'd like to say, as far as concerning the vaccinations, I've had both vaccines, and being a board member, we have a weekly isolation tool that our superintendent sends us out the numbers on a weekly basis of what's going on within our school system. I'd like to report some of those numbers to you. When we look at our staff, we've had 30 people that came in contact with COVID. We had 5 that were positive in the last report. Now, when we look at our students, we're looking at 722 students that came in contact somehow or another with COVID. We had 109 that contracted. Now, when we compare our numbers with the county's numbers are far greater. So that tells us that our problem is not within the school system. It's reaching out further. It's outside the doors of our facilities. And I'm saying this to say that it's important. If taking the vaccination is not detrimental to your health, if you want to help the students of Robeson County School System and help us keep students face to face, we must be vaccinated to prevent the further spread of COVID-19. The antigen is like any other that we've taken in the past, whether it be a polio shot or whatever. It's a vaccination. When we look at the PSRC system as a whole, we're at 40% level on meeting DPI expectations. We have some schools that our performance is at 18%, and our high schools, as I was looking this past week, I think we may or may not have a high school that's above 40% expectation rate. So that's why it's so important that we keep our kids face to face. Virtual, it's just another avenue of using new technology to reach kids that are at home that are quarantined for whatever reason. It has eliminated snow days, and there's a lot of advantages to that, but it would be to our advantage to get the vaccination to eliminate the possibility of our kids contracting the COVID. And I understand there's a segmented population of our school kids that can get the vaccination and some cannot. So the greatest support you can give our students of Robeson County Schools are to get your 2 vaccinations. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Rita Locklear, currently the Director for Project and DigiChoice with the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. Project and DigiChoice is a new grant that we have from the U.S. Department of Education. We've had 3 grants from them, and all of the activities that we've scheduled, all of the events that we've had for our students have been fairly well attended. But when we look back as a former counselor and teacher at what's happened to our boys and girls, it affected our grant and it affected our students. If your child was a student in kindergarten, they went through Hurricane Matthew. They were a 2nd grader when they went through Hurricane Florence. And as a 4th grader, they began dealing with the pandemic. The traumas our boys and girls have had to face in the last 5 years have been traumatic. We won't know what effects that this will have on our kids, maybe until much later. But we also know that currently there are many things that are happening in the classroom, and it is affecting our education of our boys and girls along with their social and emotional well-being. How can we stop this? How can we improve this? As we look back, I think about why I got the shot. My mother, who's 85, my mother-in-law is 89, my 2 grandchildren, and my family were very important to me. More than anything in the world, I wanted them to be safe. And I know that as I look at what God wants for us, to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, and if we love ourselves enough, then I believe that we would have all gotten the shot as soon as possible. So as a teacher, an educator, when I look back at what's happened to our children and the trauma that they've been through, they don't need any more. We want to operate our grants. We want to provide all these services for our boys and girls. They've had an excellent time with all the things that we've been able to do, but so much of what we've planned for them, we weren't able to do that. So whatever it takes, it is so important that you understand that this shot is your shield.
This shot is your shield.